Hello, hello.
Hello. Sorry, I'm a bit congested. Good morning. Welcome in. I'm just sending my video out to a few different servers, and then we'll get started. Um, today, today, what we're gonna do? So we're finally back on Jurassic World Evolution 2. It's been so long. This game is like my home for my channel. Basically, this is my channel's game because I just do so much of it. And what we're doing today is we're continuing our custom island. I want to get this series finished with and make sure that we have it all set up. And then what we're going to do, I have a few ideas for what we could do for our next Jurassic World Evolution series. But I think before we do that Jurassic World Evolution series, we're going to do probably some sort of other game. To give you guys a recap, because I know it's been a while, this is the Custom Island. The Custom Island series is... Hold on, I need to close the park because people are gonna be coming into the park because they automatically do when the park opens. This is the Custom Island series. I've already done one of these before. And basically what this series entails is you basically create a custom island map. You have to draw it in yourself. There's no way to generate it. So you draw in a custom island map, and then you create islands on top of that. And then once you've figured out all the terrain and stuff, you go ahead and kind of build onto the islands. The only real major rule is you can't change the layout of the actual coastline very much. Everything else is fair game. And this is what we've had so far. I'll go in order of what we've done. In the first stream, we worked on this island. This is our guest island, which, as you can see, there's a lot of guests on it. And this island was just supposed to be a little area where, they'll arrive here at the helipad and they'll walk along this path. They've got a nice view of like the tropical stuff. Ignore the fact that there's landscape over there. That would just be ocean, realistically, but we can't really do anything about that. But yeah, so these islands, this island specifically has a ticket booth, but, and then obviously we have the fountain out here with the benches and the dinosaur skeletons. We've got a restroom here. We've got the hotels here. If we come this way, what the heck happened there? Hold on. I need to fix that. That's not okay. There. That was odd. That shouldn't have been there. But that's fixed. So obviously you have paths coming this way. We have an emergency shelter for like storms and stuff. We won't need it for dinosaurs because the dinosaurs here are kept kind of here. I put invisible fences in an actual island. We've got some little guys here. We've got Gigant Spinosaurus. Not to be confused with Spinosaurus, which is very different. For the people at the hotels, little island here if they want to try to swim to it, but there's nothing real. This island, which by the way, I love the paths. I love making cool looking paths. We did the laboratory island, which has two Suchomimus.
Lovely crying face, the live is lagging real bad.
I'm not sure why that would be. Let me check my internet.
I mean for me.
Oh, so it's your internet. Okay. Just making sure. Over here we have Zuko the Suchomimus, because Avatar: The Last Airbender, he looks like he got burned, so that's him. And then this one hasn't been what name was suggested for it. But we've got two Suchomimus over here in their enclosure. We've got a copter here. We've got staff like offices. We've got living quarters, restrooms. We've got an ACU unit for like monitoring this. So we've got basically everything you could need for staff on this island. And then the next thing we built was the airport island. And this is, oh, that is, I, hold on, I need to speed up the game so these people can disappear. But yeah, this island, sorry. This island is where guests arrive. So planes will land on this landing strip. So they'll like fly in from like down at this end, and then they'll come flying in. They'll land, and there's hangars for the planes on this side, so they could taxi onto this little bit here. Because obviously planes would be landing on this side and leaving on this side. So planes that are landing can taxi down here and dock in one of these hangars, which isn't meant for them. It's a veterinary unit, but it looks like hangars. We've got the air traffic control tower. You've got a smaller hangar, and this is for like private jets and luxury planes. Time. But and then you've got obviously the helipad where they land. And then once we finished all of these islands, we went ahead and started the main park. So this is kind of where we're at now. We've got the main street with the innovation center. We've got some enclosures here. A quick little introduction to what we have. We have this is probably my favorite baryonyx. So we've got a couple baryonyx. We've got viewing areas for all of them. We've got a swamp for the Dilophosaurs, which could be a bit swampier, but I like it. We've got the Allosaurs. So the Allosaurs are in this enclosure. Where's the other one? Here's the other one. Hello. All right. So those are the Allosaurs. This is the aviary, where we have, what do we have in here? Tapajara, or is it Tupuhuara? I don't remember. But these guys are very pretty looking with their big crests on their heads. One of the first pterosaurs that I learned that wasn't Pteranodon. Don't know why there's a path here. Oh, I used it for lining up this fence, that's why. This enclosure is something I'm still working on. But we have a walk-along thing here for the T-Rex enclosure, and there's a moat, so obviously the T-Rex can't get over. And this is a cool little building tool where if you use these walls, dinosaurs just can't pass them. Over here, we have a Jurassic tour, which would take you into the larger enclosures that cover most of this island, because most of the island is going to be like a biological preserve thing, like a wildlife park rather than a zoo. But obviously we have some zoo stuff. I'm taking inspiration from like San Diego Zoo. On this island, this is an isolated island used for these guys. So these guys just can't get out. These guys are Chinchousaurus. It's a bit hard for me to say. Chinchousaurus. There we go. If I say it slower, Chinchousaurus. There we go. That's a little interesting. I'm gonna let them move up a little bit. But these guys are very cool. They've got these really cool looking kind of osteoderms along their back that give them a very rigid look, and I like them. There's a undersea tunnel that brings you to this island, and this island's got like a little tide pool and some forest, and it's very nice. Over here we have another guest area. You got the fence, obviously, to keep dinosaurs from wandering over here. You've got emergency shelters. This is technically a power station, but it's used as access to the viewing tower for the ankylosaurs, which can view all the way around this area. So this gives guests a nice view of the ankylosaurs in their kind of like dense, muddy forest habitat. And then over here, obviously, you've got the lagoon, which has a couple different access points and has some of my personal favorite um, aquatic creatures in the game, Liopleurodon. Because or no wait, Chronosaurus, because Liopleurodon should have looked more like this, but it looked very bad. But there's three little viewing domes in here, which is it's very cool to stand inside of them, and I've decorated the undersea area as well with foliage, and I think there's like old cages, there's a crashed boat somewhere. So it's very cool. And then out here, this is the enclosure I built last time, and this will be for the Spinosaurus. Now, I'm using these invisible fences because I want it to look like there's natural barriers and that they have a territory rather than having big fences everywhere, you know? So that's basically what we've got so far. I know I spent a little while explaining that. Today, what I think we're going to do is we're going to continue this section. I think we need to determine what we want in this area of the park, though, first. I think this area of the park... Something I am going to have to do is probably draw a fence line starting kind of here and making its way around. And let's go around this corner. Now, obviously, this is gonna mess with foliage, so I might have to, like, place some back in. But, you know, it shouldn't be too bad. And now the dinosaurs shouldn't be able to pass that. That should keep them kind of contained and out of harm's way. Actually, what I could do, because if you bring it up close enough, the dinosaurs just can't pass. How does this look? Where's the best? I'll probably follow that. Because realistically, they shouldn't be able to break through. So that'll kind of keep them blocked in here. So we've got kind of an enclosure made here now. And they won't pass the border of this, so it should be fine. Unless they, like, glitch through their enclosure. Oh, the T-Rex is over here having a sand bath. That's cool. But yeah, I think in here, we don't want anything too crazy in here, but we do want something. And I think a joint herbivore habitat could be cool to have for this area. Let's see. I think... Where can we have some water? Maybe some water over here could be good. There's like a little... kind of marshy area. There, that'll provide them with some water. Maybe a small lake in here. Just some general water sources. Like, these can be like some wetlands. There we go. Some, like, interior island wetlands here. Kind of marshy looking. And probably through here. Hold on. I think I'm gonna remove some of the water. And then add some water in there. That looks a bit better. That's kind of nice. I mean, it's a little out of place, but I just want them to have water, you know? So, like... So this is going to be a bit more of a wetland area. And I think what I'm going to do is kind of... There we go. Alright, now that we've got that kind of done, we can see about what creatures we want to put in here. Oh wait, I need to section off this side. That's gonna ruin some of the forest. I'm definitely gonna want some kind of gate here. Because I do want there to be, like, dividing lines for certain areas, of course. Alright, I need more forest. This area needs a lot more forest. That's a little ugly looking, but there's nothing I can really do about it. Oh well. Alright, let's forest this area up a bit. There we go. This went from being kind of an open field to being a swampy marsh area. But I think over this direction, we can have it kind of be a little more sparse. Now that we've got an actual enclosure set up here, let's figure out what we want to put in it. I'm thinking a few different herbivores, but I'm not sure which ones. Not that one. Maybe a shorter sauropod. A sauropod could be nice to have, but I don't know if they would fit in well there. I could do a few sauropods and a herd of small creatures, or I could do a herd of mid-sized creatures. But what would live in a swampy habitat? Or like a marshy environment? I feel like some sort of Struthiomimed or... Let's see. Something like Struthiomimus or something similar would probably go there. Maybe not Gallimimus, they're a bit large. Archaeornithomimus, I haven't used them, I don't think, in a long time. Let's get a few Archies. Let's set them to random. And I guess just random pattern. Let's just give them typical, you know, just basic traits. Alright, let's get some of these guys in. We're gonna want a sizable herd. Let's get those guys. Alright, we should have a decent herd, and I think we'll have some sort of herbivore in there as well. Maybe Camarasaurus. Camarasaurus could be cool. I like Camarasaurus. We'll do random favorite and random favorite. We'll make sure that all the traits are set to just average. And let's get some Camarasaurs going. I think I want 3 Camarasaurs, so I'm gonna pick 3. Papyrana and Rana. Rana and Rana. Alright, Sonoran Desert, Great Sandy Desert, and Amazon Rainforest. So you've got one of each. So I'll get those 2. And I'll get one of these. Now, while we're waiting on that, I'm going to move these guys over to their new enclosure.
Acknowledging asset collection request. En route to collect the asset.
I need to check my sandbox settings real quick to make sure my animals aren't dying. Dinosaurs don't starve. Okay. Do all the carnivores have feeders? They do. Okay. So I can set it to where the carnivores eat, just so that they're keeping the goat populations down.
Asset transportation underway. Asset being transported.
Let's see, we can get... Let's edit this tour route. Hopefully, I should be able to fit these close to each other.
Completed. Transporting asset. Transportation underway.
Now that we've kind of got this going, I'm going to bring this car path along here. That curve's a bit too close.
Delivery complete. Asset has been delivered. Transit has commenced.
And then this one will just go along
Commencing asset transit.
the edge of the mountains. Oh, my controller's almost dead.
Transportation complete.
There we go.
Asset
We've got a car path kind of figured out. Now it is a little denser, which I don't like as much.
confirming asset delivery.
Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to add a thing that stops dinosaurs from going into the lake.
Asset
Let's get that put in. Or at least going too far into the lake.
Asset transportation complete.
Let's get this kind of set up a little. Yeah, we just don't want the dinosaurs coming out too far. Let's get this kind of set up. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way. This one started out a little slow, just because most of what I'm having to do is building and like terraforming and stuff. but we will get to some actual dinosaur stuff too. And after this is done, what I want to do is take this island and get rid of all the buildings and all the fences and everything and just turn it into an actual, like, ecosystem, kind of. I think that could be cool. Alright, there we go. Now nothing can kind of get into the lake. Yeah, nothing will be able to get into the lake now. But they can still tread over these little rivers here, which will be just fine. Alright, now that we've got that kind of figured out, we need to figure out the terrain of this area. Because we've kind of got, like, you know, dense kind of forest here with, like, a river leading to the ocean for the Spino. Oh, that's what I should do. I need to put the Spinosaurus in. Duh. Oh, wait, I forgot about these guys, too. So you are gonna go over in your area, and I hope you like it, because you're staying there. And then we're gonna bring these two as well. And we've got one of every coloration, too, so we'll have a decent variety. Where are the Struthies? They're all kind of over here. Let's take a look at some of them.
No worries.
Alright, that's good. Here, let's take a look at some of these Struthies. They're a little, unsettling looking, but... let's hide dinosaur stats. It looks like they're all sleeping on the path. That's not very good. But at least we've got all the Struthies in there. I don't know why they're all localized here. They haven't even explored into this part of their territory yet, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. Oh, I heard the T-Rex roar. Where are you at? Where are you at, bucko?
Asset transportation in
There you are.
progress.
Oh, and these little towers here would be like, obviously they don't have an interior, but you would climb up and be able to see the Rex from like up here, which would be very cool. But yeah, the Rex has like a nice big enclosure here. I'm loving this. This is very fun.
Asset delivery confirmed.
Alright. The first Camarasaurus is in. Look at that. I love Camarasaurus. It's been one of my favorite sauropods since I first saw it, like, used in, what's it called? In Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. Its neck should be a lot thicker at the base, though. See how it looks disconnected from its shoulders? That just looks odd. But other than that, that's like the only real issue I can see with it right now. Its neck just isn't like robust enough to support its head or anything, but it's still a cool species. Let's see, what's this one? This is like a orangey yellowy one. This is more of a brown red. And there's one more coming in. Oh, you can see how much laggier it gets. Let's play with just like dinosaur icons, because that's the only thing we really need from this. Look at this island layout, though. That's really cool.
Asset transported.
Heck is... Oh. It's creating a weird square on the ground, but now I see why. Alright, the last Camarasaurus is in. They look a little similar, but they're all unique in their own way. Which one's the alpha? Is it this one? Good, it is this one. This one was my favorite of the group anyway. Who's the alpha of the Archies? Kind of like a gray-black looking for water. Yeah, they should have everything they really need in this enclosure, so. Now, let's see. Where do we want to cut off this enclosure? That's the question. Do we want all the dinosaurs in this area to be able to go all the way around? Maybe we can cut off this mountainous area. This mountainous area can have like its own little microclimate. I think that could be cool. The question is, how would I split it up? That's a bit of a tricky one. Because this whole area is a bit hard to split up. Like here, you can use the in-betweens of these big mountains. Here you have like a mountain on one side and a cliff on the other, so you can't really hide the fences as easily. Oh, Spinosaurus. I keep forgetting about Spinosaurus. I don't know why I'm so congested today. Time to make my favorite one. Let's get this guy kind of worked on. Let's get him. Oh, and also, I'm going to need names for a lot of the species that we have. Because, as of right now, only a few of them are named. Let's deliver the Spino over here.
Asset to be collected.
Spino should be pretty good in there.
Assets in the air.
We are going to need to cut off a border around this mountain so that the dinosaurs don't go climbing it, obviously. Because we don't want dinosaurs just climbing mountains.
Asset delivered.
Don't die on us, please.
I'm not gonna die, don't worry. I'm just a little congested. You know, I might turn a decent amount of this into like a beach, now that I think about it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a coastline border so that dinosaurs can't travel too far out into the water. Because we don't want them traveling out into the ocean, of course. Hold on. There we go. That's sectioned off a little bit. We need to section off this mountain. Which honestly, the best way to do that might actually be to just follow a river line. So let's just follow the line of the river, I guess. There we go. What can I use for pine trees? Will these work? Yeah, let me cover this all with these and see how I think it looks. Yeah, it just doesn't look very good. What about these? Will these work better? Yeah, it's not pine foresty enough. I mean, I could do placeable trees, but that'll bring down my game's performance a ton, and it already lags on startup, so... Just out of curiosity, though, how would it look? It kind of works, but it's not good enough. There we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna deal with tropical plants and be fine. Whew, hold on. I need to give my eyes a quick break. There we go. Alright, that's better. Whew. Okay. I really don't like this rock out here. I don't like that. Honestly, I might just delete that. Because it adds, like, nothing. There is a big empty space there, but this rock just isn't. Like, I like some of the islands on the coastline that I've made. I do not like these two specifically. Or really this. I don't like this. Alright. Let's take a look at the Spinosaurus. He's in here. Oh. Looks like he's running for food. Oh, he's in a tree, so I can't see him. Come on, go into the light. There you go. Look at that. The white stripe down the side with the red and the black. That is such a cool design. Look at that. Look at that eye, man. The slit pupil, and it's so cool. Alright, this mountain's kind of sectioned off, so nothing can really climb up onto it. I'm gonna definitely need to section this off. We don't want anything coming down from these cliffs. Oh, I'm still on bulk delete. Let's line this cliff face. There we go. So that's a little section of land that's not really going to be used. But it'll help with the effect. I'm gonna have to flatten this out a little bit, probably. Let's bring that to there. Bring that up. Bring it up to here. Gotta follow the contour lines. I'm almost done with placing down fencing, I think. There we go. This upper area, I might actually divide into 2 sections potentially, but I'm not sure. The only other section I might cut off is like this, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm kind of tempted to make this island in the middle of the lake bigger so that I can have, what's it called? A dinosaur on the island, but I think it'll just be decoration for now. But yeah, I think we've got enough fencing to start considering like dinosaurs. The only thing left to really do is figure out like, do we want to split this area apart or do we want to keep it together? I think I'll keep it together for now, but if we want to add more species later, we can. Now, I'm going to switch to this, edit tour route. Because once this tour is up and running, That curves a bit too much. Now this section of the tour track isn't like set in stone, and I'll probably change a lot of this later. I kind of like the idea of this running along the edge of the cliff. Alright, tour track is complete, but I don't want people going on the tour yet. So I'm going to deactivate it for now. Oh, there's a car already going, but it'll probably disappear. So now that this tour track is ready, it's time to do terraforming. Up here, I think we're going to have like some more highlandy things, some smaller creatures, maybe some pachycephalosaurs. Those could be cool to have up here on this part of the island. So that could be fun. Let's see. Let's do a count of how many species we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 species so far. Which is crazy, because there's 120 something species in the game. And with this enclosure, I would guess we could have maybe 3 to 4 species in this large one. Yeah, so like 3 to 4 species in this large enclosure. And maybe 2 species in this upper enclosure. Let's make this into like a bit of a beach. Let's do a little something like that. So this little area here would become like an island during high tide. Contour lines on, obviously. And we're just going to go around the edge. And cover it with sand. Let's just do the outline first, and then we can work on the actual beach itself. Let's see. If we get the sand over to here, now we can kind of work more on the beach. There you go, we've got the little beach. And obviously, like most of this map, it's low tide right now. But once it reaches high tide, it like would turn these into islands. There we go. Got a little beach on that end. So this little section of the island over here will be more forested. And then this area here we'll put some ground leaf around. Ground fiber. Let's smooth this transition into the water a little bit. We can smooth it along the border of the car path. Alright, so it's a bit of a smoother transition down from the upper area to the lake. That's kind of cool looking. I like that. Let's see. So we've got this kind of area figured out. It's a bit of, not quite wetland, but it's got, you know, some fibrous ground cover and some, you know, kind of a more open plains kind of deal.
Stopping by to say hey.
Hey Ori, welcome to the stream. I'm thankful that you managed to make it to say hi. I hope your day's going good. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I'm just working on getting the terrain in this area ready for when I add some actual species to it. So right now what I've done is I've turned this into kind of like a beachy area.
I hope yours is too.
Thanks, Ori. Let's see. Let me get some of
It's looking great.
that. Thank you. It's been, I don't even know how long I've been streaming for. Let me check. Wow, already an hour and a half. That's crazy. Let me clear some of the stuff around the edges so that there's not like plants in the sand. That's kind of cool looking. I like that. Let's see. Get that kind of done up. Bit of a tide pool there. There we go. That looks good. Let's see. We can get this area kind of started on. And just to show that this is like a cliff, I'm going to be taking this and going along the cliff face just to kind of create that illusion of like, okay, this is where the cliff line is, and you know, that's why dinosaurs aren't walking on it, because it's a cliff. And that'll kind of help with the illusion that dinosaurs are just not coming down here and it's not invisible fences. Let's get that kind of done up. Kind of do it along the bottom as well. We'll clear up some of the rock on the top of the cliff. That looks kind of good. Alright, now up here, I don't want too dense vegetation. Let's see, how does that look? That looks alright. Oh, that's a tall tree, look at that. Let's get that kind of worked out then. I love the music in this game. It's nice and calm. Let's get that kind of done up. We'll paint this with rock. There we go. Oh, I hate that. That is horrible. Bring the slope down. There we go. Now we can kind of water that. That's too low. I mean, is that all the terrain done? That might be all the terrain done. I mean, I guess I could probably, like, do a bit of sand. You know, get like a kind of sandy coastline look. Not too much, but, you know, a little bit. I've seen lakes with sand before, so it's not too uncommon of a thing to see. I think Lake Elsinore out here in California has a beach that has sand. That's usually where, you know, we go. That has a little bit of sand around it, but for the most part it's good. Alright. Let's see if we can... Actually, I don't like the sand. We need rid of this sand just because it looks kind of out of place. I might replace it with some dirt. Make it look kind of muddy. Just do some dirt everywhere. Yeah, this wetland area definitely needs a bit more of a muddy look. Let's see. Let's get that kind of done and over with. There we go, that kind of works. Need a bit of dirt on this coastline a little bit. When you tap it like this, it doesn't fully use the dirt, which means you can get like a darker green rather than a full brown. That looks nice. I like that. Let's do a bit more here. This area needs a bit more dirt. All right. Well, I think that is the enclosure done. We can go ahead and try to figure out what species we want. If you have any suggestions, say them now. I'm thinking parasaurs could be cool to have. It would be cool to have some parasaurs. Maybe a ceratopsian. We don't have any ceratopsians yet. So we definitely want some parasaurs. Let's see. We could get some Lux parasaurs. I'm thinking Parasaurolophus 1997. Or one of the glowy ones. Let's do 1997. Let's get some parasaurs, a herd of 6, and let's get some ceratopsians as well. I could go with Triceratops, but that feels a little bit cliche. Because, you know, Triceratops is just such a popular one. Oh, Dryosaurus. We're going to want some of these guys. Let's set random favorite, or random favorite. Let's see. Now that we've got those guys kind of figured out, we'll make a few of those, 6 of them. I feel like we should have more than 6 Dryosaurs. Let's go with 9. So Yukon River, Champlain Valley. Looks like we got mostly Champlain Valley and Chalcorana. Let's go Yukon and Pulkrana. Let's do a Yukon blank pattern. And the rest, the last 5, we'll pick from in here. And we'll grab those 6 as well. Let's release these guys via airlift first. And I think the Dryosaurs should probably spend more time over here.
Asset. Collecting asset.
Let's see, let's queue these guys up to get released as well.
Heading
1,
to collect
2,
the asset.
3,
Confirmed.
4,
Adding task. Task
5.
received.
So 9 Dryosaurs right over here.
What's up, Jogabsha? How are you today?
Hi Riskier, I'm pretty good. I'm just doing a stream here. We finally got all the terrain done for our custom island. The only thing I'm not too sure about is this little beach section here. But other than that, everything looks pretty good. We're just putting in our last few dinosaurs. And after this, what we'll do is I think next stream will be a full island tour, like first person island tour of each individual island. We still have a bit of training to do. Obviously, we need to do some more sand along the coastline and things like that. But other than that, we've got pretty much everything done. So yeah, I think all that's really left is to put sand along the coastline now that I look at it. Let's see. Let's watch these drysaurs get brought in. You can see it carrying one. As for the parasaurs, these guys I think should be released more over here.
It looks awesome. I've always wanted to try out this game.
This game is incredibly fun. Yeah, they're making a new one next year. Or not next year, this year. It should be coming out between July and December, if I remember correctly. But it is going to be coming out this year. This game, though, if you're going to get into it, I'd highly recommend it because I've spent 300, 400 hours in this game. I've spent so long in this game. And it's incredibly fun. What I did for this is I created a custom island outline just by I filled in the entire map with water. And then I just kind of carved out an island shape. And the whole challenge of this is I'm not really allowed to change the shape of the island's border. And I have to kind of build based on what I've given myself.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a full tour of this island soon, which will be exciting. I did want to do more with this island, but I think it's turned out pretty well. I've done another series like this before, actually, which also turned out pretty good. So if you want to check that out at some point, there should be a playlist for it. It should be just called Jurassic World Evolution 2 Custom Island or something like that. But that one was my first time really trying out this kind of concept. Let's see these little drysaurs. Hey, little guys. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these guys are actually Van's favorite dinosaur. Look at them. Look at them. Hold on, wait. Listen to their little calls, their little chirps. They're gonna do a social animation.
That's so cool.
Look at them. They're eating bugs off of each other. They're so sweet. I like this one. This one's pretty with the red. These guys are so cool. I love these little guys. Aww. I love them. They're adorable. I cannot get enough of these guys. Looks like the Suchomimus are enjoying their time over here. Don't know why it says they're lonely. Are they missing population? Oh, maybe they need one more. That's fine, though. We don't need to really worry about that because we have dinosaur comfort difficulty turned off. Just so that I could build more freely. Are they getting the parasaurs? Don't know why this guy's sitting there.
Confirming asset delivery.
Oh, so it was waiting for the asset delivery to confirm. Okay. Oh, they're sending a big one for the parasaur.
Asset in transit.
So it's gonna probably take them a little bit, but they'll get it. Look at all these little guys. Look at them. Oh, that was laggy when I pulled that up. Look at that. Ugh. A nice 3 frames.
Delivery confirmed.
This game is not the best optimized, so it can lag a little bit if you're building really large parks like this. But of course, I'm playing on PlayStation, so it doesn't have as many great capabilities as, like, you know, some
Has commenced.
PCs. So if you're on PC, you can probably run this way better. But it is a very fun game. Here's what I'm gonna do. This just creates like a weird look to it, so I'm just gonna get rid of this. Because we don't need that. There we go.
Transportation underway.
And the cool thing is, when you're looking at it, you can't even really tell that there's fences.
Face with tears of joy or reactions to the dinosaurs interacting are so cute I can't.
Yeah, I love these little guys. They're so adorable. Look at those eyes. Look at it. I want... Aw. I want one of these guys. I want one. I mean, they're pretty big.
Transportation.
They're a good few feet long, but I would love to have one. They're adorable. Oh, the parasaurs are here. Hold on. Oh, look at these guys. They're so pretty. Normally I'd go with the glowy ones, but
Asset has been collected.
I figured I'd cut down on lag by not having the glowy ones. But there's some that like glow in the dark that are very pretty. This guy's definitely one of my favorite dinosaurs in this park, though. Once I'm done with this park and once I've given the tour, I've already talked about this stream, but I'm just going to talk about it again. I want to take this park, delete all the fences, and turn it into one big, like, ecosystem kind of thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with these guys. They might just have to stay in their lagoon, just without, like... without whatchamacallit.
Transporting asset.
And obviously I'll keep the island borders so nothing can, you know, leave the island. But apart from that,
Transported.
you know, there'd be nothing else to worry about besides, like, you know, how the dinosaurs interact with each other. There we go. There's the allosaurs. But yeah, when that happens, I'm just gonna draw a line along the rest of the island. And the dinosaurs can just run wild on the island and do whatever they want.
Delivery has been completed.
This is so cool. I love these islands. This is probably... I never got to play Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, but it had a custom island generator. And you would get a new island every time, and you'd build on a different island. And I'm really hoping they put that in the next game, because that's something that, like, it's, I think, the most requested thing for this game since the game, like, came out. But yeah, I highly recommend checking out this game if you get the chance, because it's just such a fun experience to play.
Asset has been transported.
Oh, look at the sunset. It's very pretty. Is that supposed to be the moon? I mean, you can't really look up at the sky in this game, but... Wait, actually, maybe I can. I can look up at the sky, but can I see the sun? The sun's there. Oh, they do have a sun and a moon in this game. That's cool. Well, I'll save this little experience for later, because we're not doing the first-person tour right now. Look at this. That's very cool. Oh, look at it! I was taking a little sand bath. It's so adorable. I love that. Oh, they're doing a social animation. I love that. That's adorable. Alright, we need probably one or two more species in here. Let's do a sauropod and a ceratopsian. Sauropod and ceratopsian seem like good choices. For a sauropod... I mean, this island kind of takes inspiration from Site B. So I think I'll grab Mamenchisaurus. Do some random favorite patterns. Let's make two of them. Two of them. Is that good enough? Yeah, two of them. And let's get... What ceratopsian do we want to use? Maybe Styracosaurus? Styracosaurus is a fun one. Yeah, let's do Styracosaurus. I haven't used them in a park in a while.